I think today one of the greatest hindrances against civil society is the closure of public political space and the authoritarian drift that we're seeing, particularly in certain regions such as the Horn of Africa or Central Africa. But at the same time, I think there's a strong heritage, a number of lessons to be learned from other important regions, West Africa notably, but also Southern Africa. But I think going forward, how we navigate the more difficult terrain and how we deal with government's more strident and robust reaction towards different layers of society is going to pose the greatest challenge for civil society going forward.
I think civil society's biggest hindrance is where partners do not recognize the need to support institutionalization of civil society engagement, and that involves how do you support them to build the structures that are required as an institution to engage, which then allows for their sustainable engagement rather than just support activities which come and go away.
Politics is the thing that determines the ability of civil society to work or not, and some parts of Africa it's possible, and other parts it's really difficult. So it's about enabling environments and about civil society claiming space, creating opportunity to really push for peace building.
Thank you. I would like to reflect on the question more on the opportunity side of things, because the natural instinct is to always talk about problems. It's always good to also reflect on opportunities and be positive oriented. I think a couple of things are probably windows of opportunity for more sustainable civil society engagement in peace building in Africa. One, it's social media. As internet penetrability increases in Africa, more and more people have access to information. More and more people can lend their voice to social issues, to issues in the public sphere. More and more citizens become politically engaged, and as political consciousness and awareness improves, it helps to build up the knowledge base of civil society. More and more people come into the fold, more and more people get engaged, and I think civil society engagement becomes sustainable when the agenda is genuinely owned, when ownership is rooted in the minds and hearts of citizens.
Well, thank you. That is a very important question. I think that the biggest or greatest hindrance to sustainable civil society engagement in peace building in Africa, in my view, is largely the funding that the civil society organizations receive from abroad. It would be best, in my view, to have civil society looking within their members and themselves to raise their own funding to deal with issues that they are addressing on a day-to-day basis. Getting funding from abroad prevents them from being original and dealing with issues as they should be. And when this money stops coming, then the civil society is put in a state of disarray. So I would want to see that civil society looks into itself and obtains its own funding to sustain its activities. Thank you.
I think that one of the greatest opportunities that exist for civil societies is to build networks across the region and look at the issues of peace building, not only from a national perspective, but from the regional perspective, given that a lot of the conflicts and security challenges faced in Africa right now are regional in nature. And so I think the ability of civil society organizations to take advantage of this regional approach will be important for their sustainability going forward.
Thank you very much. I think the greatest opportunity is the revolution in information and communication technology. This conference has been able to reinforce that very strongly, and we believe there are opportunities for CSOs to take advantage of this new trend.
I think the greatest opportunity is really the Africans themselves. I think there's a wealth of organic initiatives and locally owned, locally driven activities and outcomes. I think the challenge is that we need to make this more visible. I think there's more opportunities, there's a need for us to be able to share and communicate all the the locally owned and the cultural specificity of the continent. I think we tend to think of it as a continent, but there are really narratives that are from different countries and different contexts. And I think the need is to share that and make it more visible to a wider audience.
The second issue or opportunity for civil society engagement in sustainable peace building has to do with the emerging changing landscape in Africa from a demographic point of view. The continent is youthening. The median age in the African continent is less than 20 years, about 19 years. And as the continent is youthening, more and more people are getting educated, more and more people are having access to information, more and more young people are becoming quite interested in public policy issues. And as that happens, civil society engagement will become a lot more vibrant. Civil society engagement will become a lot more demand-driven as opposed to supply-driven. And civil society engagement will become much more resourceful in terms of generating cutting-edge ideas that can help maintain or sustain peace in Africa. Thank you.